Hello everyone, Wild Willy here, and welcome on back to our OP in the DLC walkthrough. But Wild Willy, you say? That is not the DLC, you're in Redmane Castle, what is going on? Well, this is a bonus episode. I felt compelled to do this episode for my peeps that may have followed me through my setup guides. Either my OP and early DLC beginner's guide or the more expert OP but no OCD early to the DLC setup guide. We have yet, if you're on either one of those playthroughs, we have yet to access the Capital or the Mountaintops. And that is something that is increasingly hamstringing my character. I don't have access to +5 or +6 bell bearings for somber or smithing weapons. I don't have my 4th talisman slot. We're about to run through Redmane Castle real quick to grab the red hot whetblade. So there are just a couple little bits that I want to run back through and get. There will be a lot of pausing for this episode for those of you who know the way, or for my newer folks who have been following along, to give them a little bit of a chance to explore on their own. I will still give general directions on where to go and key pickups along the way, so that you can kind of speed things along. But anyway, let's get started. Gonna work our way backwards through Redmane Castle. And really, there's only one enemy we need to worry about, and that's off to the right. There's going to be a virgin abductor coming for us. So we're going to run through the doorway here and keep running, and that is what I'm after, the red hot whetblade. And then I think I need to run up the stairs, and there's like one Redmane knight that I need to kill. And then I'll be able to, I should be able to warp on out. So from here, we're going to head on over to the Capital. There are 2 ways that you can access the Capital. You can come out of the Azura side tomb, come over here by the bridge, and there's a spirit spring that's going to take you up and around to fight the Draconic Tree Sentinel without having to deal with the Archer Golems that guard the approach from either of these 2 sites of grace. And then the other option that I'm going to show people, a little bit less familiar, not the traditional way, is from the underground, from Deep-Root Depths. We're going to start at the nameless Eternal City site of grace, and we're going to work our way up some routes to another site of grace, to the arena right before Lanisax, one of the ancient dragons, and we're going to fight Thea's champions to access the Capital that way. So from here, you want to head out east. We're going to be hopping up on this building. Feel free to fight the gargoyle if you want. There are going to be other ones along the way, but we are just running. Grab the loots if you want. The loots are traps. There are more gargoyles up here. They're going to start spewing fire. And if you're running quickly, you should be able to just go right past them. You can even spam to pick up the loot. And we need to kind of double back up here, which is why I stopped. Wait for that gargoyle to go, and then mess up on Torrent. So we want to be on that branch, and that's why we're just running through. We want to be on this branch. And I almost killed Torrent. We're going to have to start all over again. Wait, know how I can work my way down from here. Okay. Let's see if I can warp out. I can't. Apologies to everybody. This is already becoming a lot longer. I'm just gonna have to reset. Start over again at the bottom. So back over here, this is where originally hopped up. There's our original gargoyle. Let's try this again. So again, past this guy, and we want to turn left and hop up onto that branch. Okay, we dropped off a torrent. We just want to work our way around and down. I'm going to resummon torrent, and then we're going to hop down. You get kicked off a torrent anyway. So here we are at the Grace. We're about to fight He is Champions. It's going to be an NPC battle. It's going to be one-on-one to start with, or two-on-one, because we're going to pull out the Mimic. And you have to defeat 3 of them. And then when you've defeated 3 of them, you have to fight all 3 of them at once. We're just going to head over. Buff up a little bit. Two-hand, refill that. Go back to my healing flask, and then can't summon the Mimic until the fight starts. So you just need to keep running over towards, I don't know, whatever that is. I forget if that's which demigod that's supposed to be. All right, so here we go. Here's our first invader, and I'm just gonna summon in and get away for a little bit. So my Mimic can spawn in, and you should absolutely dunk on these guys. Just one down. Heal up because I'm bored. Here comes number 2. Roger. He'll do glintblade phalanx, and he's got his rapier. And I'm just R1 spamming. I'm deliberately not being very. Alright, so now here come all 3. You just want to pick one. Take it out. And down they go. And we get Thea's Mist. You can light the Grace. I'm gonna go ahead and rest. Pick up a level. I'm going for 40 strength. Keep working towards that. And then you'll see this teleporter is active. Run on over here. Travel to another location. And voila. Now, if you work backwards from here, it'll take you out to the bridge that is after you fought the Draconic Tree Sentinel. If you want to have a good scrap with him, I would recommend going down there and grabbing that Grace, and then you can just go out the door behind him and then hop into that fight. But we're just going to proceed along. I'm trying to be efficient after my route climbing disaster. There are a couple of foot soldiers here. Those are the only enemies between us and the Grace. And then I'm going to try and run through the capital as quickly as possible. If something gets in my way, I'm going to go ahead and whack it. But otherwise, I'm just going to run. So for those of you who haven't been here yet, welcome to Lindell Royal Capital. These guys will shoot bubbles at you. I'm gonna go ahead and take them out. They're on the way. You can run past these guys. This guy you can farm for the Envoy's Longhorn. Really good weapon. Gargoyle ahead. I'm just gonna hop off the edge. Take these guys out. They're chucking bubbles at me. You work your way up the stairs there to the left. There's a page. And this is an elevator. Let me put on my lantern. That loot is a seedbed curse. Not really worth going back to get it unless you want to do a Dung Eater's quest line. In here, you can lock on to whoever's going to be, you know, coming alive to try and get you when you go past. That's a good way to tell. Here, we want to lock onto the perfumer and just take him out. Grab the loot. Go up the ladder. But you can always tell the ones that are going to try and kill you. I think there's one more over there. They're going to have a weapon in their hand. Again, that's the way up to the seedbed curse. This is just taking us out onto the rooftops so we can skip a bunch of stuff. You can see the dude down there has a sword. Those do. So they'll come alive and try and get you. Try and get you. All right, a couple of different options. You can drop down. There's some dogs there that'll take you out to the main avenue. There is a perfumer and some basic soldiers, including one down there, and there is a gap, so be mindful of that. Let's fight the dogs, because that's going to give me more room. You just drop on down, lock on. Or not. I find it easier to track the little buggers when you're locked onto them. All right, and then we want to proceed along out here. Now down there, you see the summon signs. He's probably gonna, did not drop in. We're gonna get an Erdtree avatar that's gonna want to fight us. Bloodflame Blade, plus 10 Mimic, plus 10 Bloodhound's Fang. You're gonna murder this thing too. So let's go get him. Come on, Mimi. Here he is. I'm just gonna R1 spam again. He does do decent damage. And I am face tanking everything. If you want to, you can just run right through there and grab the Grace. And he's dead. Doesn't drop a ton of runes, but you do get a Lord's rune, which isn't nothing. So here's our Grace. We're gonna rest again. Now this next part you can just run through or walk through. Melon is here. We brought her to the capital. She can move of her own accord. So we're gonna get a little cutscene here.
Here and thus I shall farewell. I shall leave. I wish you luck. You have. I have no.
She's done there. And it doesn't matter that it's night. I'm not worried about it. Obviously, no night bosses inside Legacy Dungeon. Come out here, go immediately to the right. You might have seen the archer down the end there. Now this guy, this is where if you are a little patient, he's going to turn the corner and disappear and you don't have to fight him. We are aggroed to the archer and he's going to be walking up the road to try and get us. And we just want to start hopping up the dragon's wing. If you are impatient, you can just run up and kill the one knight and keep moving along the same path. I'm over here. Jump on down. More useless loot. Well, that's not useless. Rune arc if you're using a great rune, if you have one of those active. Proceed along. There's going to be a knight to our left. Again, I'm just going to run past. Going to be an ambush right here. Up. you see that loot and that guy comes and backstabs you. So here's our grace. And you saw, you know, they're both coming for me, but it didn't matter. A couple of quick things we're going to do here. We want to grab the golden seed. That's going to aggro everybody here, and then we're going to turn back around and run down that stairway. So let's go do that. Here comes a gargoyle. Down there's a page, and that's what you want to be most afraid of. That can still kill you. So let's get the heck out of the way. Heal up, let him come out here, and we're gonna try and fight him out here. Just going very badly. Anyway, the grace is right there. So when we come back, I come back out here. I know you guys all handled that masterfully and did not die. So just wait for me here to catch up for a second. So this will not aggro the gargoyle this time. We can just plunge that guy and then just stun lock him. That's how that fight's supposed to go. And grab our runes, and then we're going to grab the little loot. Sifting Stone 6. This is Roundtable Hold. And we're going to enter this side door. It's going to start looking very familiar. Might have to fight a dog. This one's in our way, so we'll just go ahead and take him out. I think there's a couple more. Yeah, one of them saw me. Anyway, they should follow you up here. Wait for him. Keep him out. And there's really just one thing that I'm after in here. You guys can explore more if you want. But I just wanted to get the sanctified whetblade. So now we can infuse weapons with holy, and we can do lightning. Grab that. And I'm going to pause the video. If you haven't been here, feel free to explore. There really aren't any enemies. If you open a door or go through, you know, like a door back outside, then you might run into an enemy. So fair warning on all my newbies, if there are any of you around. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to run around, and then we will meet you back we'll meet you back here at the West Capital Rampart site of grace. All right, so we're back. I'm done looting the round table. You should have, you'll find a site of grace. You'll find a little faith weapon. You'll find some smithing materials. You'll find some runes, some golden runes. And we went back, as discussed, to the West Capital Rampart site of grace. We're just running past. We have what we need. We're gonna go fight Godfrey. And then take care of these guys along the way. Kill that one. This guy will hop over. Wonder if that's a weapon. Is that? Oh no. Oh, did you fall? Just its mask. Okay. The tree spear that they drop is a nice weapon. I can pick it up on any playthrough. It's always fun. Not sure why that guy didn't pick up on what was going on, but it's okay. Some of us are a little slower on the uptake. So this is Godfrey, the shade of the first Elden Lord. For you lore nerds out there, might go pick up some more boiled crab. We're just gonna go ahead and buff all the way up anyway. Probably gonna dunk on him too. reinvigorates after you beat him. That's why I'm being fairly liberal with all my flasks and stuff. You run in, summon Mimi, heal up. He's gonna come to us. He should throw his axe and then come after us. Generally, like dodge his moveset and fit in R1s after he swings. Always safe. I'm just gonna get in there and start swinging. See that Mimic is doing a good job distracting. Got that stomp you want to watch out for. Mimic should finish him off. I just didn't want to be sloppy and got caught out. And there's our 4th talisman pouch. That's one of the things I really wanted. Got some nice runes from him. Might be able to pick up a couple of levels from that. So let's rest. Yes, I can. More strength. Proceed along. There is like one piece of loot. I want to say it's like a grease. There's nothing in that gazebo. Up the vine. Notice the lovely floating chair with the shiny. I'll show you how to get that. If you hop down there, there's a rooftop path. If you hop on the rooftop, it will go in the windows and you can work around to grab the loot. There's a black knife assassin right outside the doorway. There she is. I'm gonna lock on. Gonna buff up again. We'll get a sight of Grace immediately after her. You can kind of see it in the distance. No Mimic this time. So same strategy. Gonna run up as she stands up. Get the running heavy. That should get the stagger. And I'm just gonna pin her against the doorway and beat her down. So that's that fight. Come over here and grab that. Blessing of the Erd Tree. Base spell that I don't have the face to use. Very nice though. Another boss arena. I'm gonna summon Melina. It's just tradition for me. Every run I let him come in with me and her come in with me. Just another distraction for him. All right, I'm gonna skip the cutscene. He's gonna bitch and whine about how everybody that's the one danger from this, is that he just beats the crap out of you while you're trying to summon your Mimic. And that's a phase shift. Tried to get in there and do a little bit of damage, but that wasn't working. Watch out for this. Alright, come on, Margaret. We're not here for you. We just want to keep this moving. And as you can see, like, that's blessings of the Erd Tree that he was casting right there. that big thing out of the way. Come on over here. Cannot proceed. That will spawn our grace, and then we will have another cutscene with Melina, and then we can proceed to the mountaintops of the giants.
Hello again. Allow me, you are unable prevented. The thorns are husk. The only way.
So we gotta burn the Erd tree so that we can get at.
Guide.
And she gave us the rolled medallion. We're done with her. Let's see if we can pick up any more levels. I've been under-leveled in the DLC. All right, little short there, so I'll pick up my other point of strength. Next up, we want to hop back over to, and we're coming over here. We're going to open a gate and proceed along here to the rolled lift. So we're going to go to Avenue Balcony. People are like, you got to unlock the shortcut and then hop down the buildings and it's faster. This is just fine. The tree avatar doesn't respawn. There are no enemies along the route here. Couple little loots I'm gonna grab along the way. Old firefly. Then there's a loot right over here. Golden Rune 9, which is actually worth something. So this is gonna be a longer episode. I didn't do it, so we're just going to run through. I'm going to summon my mimic. There are a couple of misbegottens along the way. You know, the harpy flying thingies. There's one. And then there's going to be kind of a big battle royale with them and some perfumers as we head up the stairs. I'm just going to summon the mimic and run for it. Because as always, you know, we're trying to keep this moving. This is going to be a longer episode anyway. To get through the mountaintops. And you should be able to summon there right where they aggro to you. One of them might hop down and come for you, but again, you know, it's like we're just summoning the mimic as a distraction. They're gonna fight that. And that should allow you to just proceed along. You might have a couple follow you. Come in here, pull the lever, see if anybody else is gonna come. There's a perfumer. He's like, nope, don't want any of that. Ride it on up. There are going to be a couple of basic soldiers. There's going to be, and when we go through the archway, there's going to be an archer off to the left, and there's going to be a mounted knight on horseback. So we have a basic dude over here with a crossbow. The idea is that you come in here to try and fight these basic dudes, and he shoots you in the back. Flame Drake Talisman +1. I think we got the +3, or we can get it in the Fort of Reprimand, so that's not terribly useful for us. Again, like once we get over to that other, you know, Coliseum looking thingy, we're gonna ride that elevator up and be at a grace, so no other enemies. So I'm just gonna go hard on these guys. And this is, again, is the trap. Like you come through, you're focused on the mounted knight, and then this guy's over in the corner shooting you with great arrows. You dodged all my stuff. Got this dagger, knocked him off his horse, and he's dead. Alright, now there's a scarab along here. It's a little scarab, and then when you beat it down the first time, it turns into a big one. And then you kill it after that. Let's try to pin him up against the wall or something. All right, now he's going to turn into Big Beetle. Got himself stuck. Tried to phase out, but we got him in time. And that's a somber 6. Inconsequential, because at the end of this episode we are going to have we're going to have the somber, the bell bearing to be able to purchase unlimited 5s and 6s. So we're going down, and this is really short. It's just going to take us to a grace, going to take us to kind of a connecting zone that we just want to run through. If you want to do it at nighttime, you'll get a Night Rider that you can fight as well. Forbidden Lands. And just to pull up the map, basically, you know, we kind of want to head. There's a road we want to follow it along to there. So I'll put a mark, and then we take the lift up, and this map marker is actually in the Mountaintops of the Giants. In the interest of efficiency, I will make it morning, so we don't have to deal with the Night Rider too, because I'm just going to run through. There's only one thing I'm going to stop for. There's going to be a giant skull further along that's going to have, I want to say, a somber 7. So we're basically just heading out east. Avoid the vulgar militia. Keep riding along. There is going to be a gap over here. Shouldn't really be tricky at this point, but go across that. Somebody chucked a poison pot at me. Tons of these little scarabs. There's a golden seed along the way. You just have to follow the path. This is like 10 feet wide, this entire area. So it's kind of hard to get lost as long as you're proceeding along. All right, I think I might have passed it. I don't want I hate it when you lock onto something you don't want to. The golden seed, that's kind of where it reminds me. Turn around, find this big skull, hop inside, and you got another somber 7. We're not going into Ferrum, so, you know, somber 7, 8, 9, 10, those are all still very valuable. So just running along towards our mark, or another gargoyle is gonna spawn in. We're just gonna run past him. Just stay to the right. Blackblade Kindred. And as soon as we get through that doorway, we're gonna duck around to the right. There's a grace there. He will follow us all the way up, so do be mindful of that and efficient about tapping the grace and resting. There's nothing, you want a good jump scare, he'll pop out right around that corner and, you know, have fun. So here's our mark. Voice medallion. I'm gonna skip the cutscene. Two-parter, wait for the other part to pop up. And here we are in the Mountaintops. Mountaintops proper. Forbidden Lands is just that one little connecting zone. We're gonna come out here. There's the marker with the map fragment. Gonna grab a grace. And I'm gonna show you the most efficient way. We're gonna pick up the smithing miners bell bearing for the smithing 5s and 6s. It is an underground zone, so not a true underground zone, so you can fast travel once you get over there. There are just some birds over here. Birds are not fun, but we are not fighting the birds. Anyway, that is where we want to go down. Hop off point. Come on. That's all I wanted to do was get off torrent. Why you gotta make it hard? Pull that up. Hopefully she won't follow us down here. I don't know how that works. It's a YouTube video, so I'm gonna be stuck in the basement with a Noxortress. So we got her. We can go ahead and come back. From the Grace, we're gonna be proceeding along the left side of the cliff. When we get over here, before we proceed up, there's another Somber 7. There's a scarab beetle up in a tree that I will point out that you can knock down and kill. And then we are just running to grab another Grace to a catacomb. Might want to come back here later on my own time. That catacomb, I believe it's another Deathroot one. And it also has, so there's our scarab. Lock on with a kukri. That'll bring that guy down. 2 racks and it's dead. Another Somber 7. The dungeon, the catacomb, you can already see the funny dude marking the way for us. Has the Grave Glovewort bell bearing to buy Grave Gloveworts 4, 5, and 6. For the Gaius fight, there is a spirit summon that you might want to use. We'll go over that. That'll be the very last episode, taking on Gaius. That'll be a bonus. I don't know if we can take him out or not. Coming down here, when you see her, you can just drop down and double back on yourself. And the bell bearing for the 1, 2, 3s, for the Grave Glovewort 1, 2, 3s, you see the beast eyes quivering. And then rest. Still a little short, 71, whatever. Okay, so back on the Altus Plateau, the Windham Catacombs, where the Mariner spawns. That catacomb's where you get the 1, 2, 3, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fire Prelate, we're just gonna run past. Kind of see it a tiny bit off in the distance. There's another one, an Archer Golem. It's gonna start shooting at us. It won't start shooting until you can reach cover. So just ride. And I grabbed that Grace for us, you know, just in case something horrible happens and you get hit, knocked off, die, have to start over again. You don't have to do the long run back. It's not terribly long. So then first arrow should go just as we're proceeding along. By the time it's ready to do the second one, should be almost gone. You might have to jump a little bit, raise up its aiming point. I'm gonna go ahead and kill it. It does not respawn. It's not like we're coming back here, but whatever. And again, with any of these golems and trolls, you hit them with 2 charged heavies, and that should stagger. Golems, it's in the chest. Trolls, it's on their head, and it should be dead. So that's done. We're gonna proceed along this way again. We want to proceed up there, up the ramp, but there's another shiny we can take out here. This one's a little beefier, and it fights back. And that'll get you a Somber 8. Then we can go up, cross over the little rocks. Should be a Grace over here that we can rest at. If we didn't just ride past it again. I think I rode past it. I want to say it's right back over here. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna pull up a map. I'm gonna pause the video, and we're gonna have you run on your own. So we are going to proceed down to the frozen river here. We're gonna swing around over here. There's gonna be a golden seed there, and then we are gonna swing up over here by one of the big overhead telescopes. And there's going to be a grace right there. There's going to be a golem walking along here that you want to avoid. There's going to be one patrolling up and down here that you can avoid. And there's going to be one lying down that's going to break open a statue for you. We don't need to do that. If you want to do that, fine. It's a bit of a pain. So those are the three main enemies along the way. I'm going to pause the video. I'll see you at the next site of grace. There's some demi-humans down there too, but you know, like they are inconsequential. So see you in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. We should be at the freezing lake site of grace now. Grab the golden seed up there. We don't have the map fragment for this part. We're about to get it. Basically, we're going to be proceeding along to the south, and there's going to be a church somewhere down here. I'm just going to place a random mark down there. It's going to what's going to happen is we're going to proceed along the frozen lake. A dragon is going to spawn in. You're not going to be able to see shit. You can't really see the church. You can see, you know, the flaming bowl or whatever after you kill the fire giant and set the Erd Tree aflame to get to Barum. So basically what we want to do is we are going to ride along this eastern edge or western edge, whatever, ride along the edge of the cliff face to our right. My mark is, I want to say, in the wrong place, but that'll keep you going in the right direction. The dragon is going to spawn in towards the southern portion of the lake. And you just want to keep riding south. If you see some lobsters, you kind of know you're in the right spot. And for my veterans, you're like, shut up, Willy, just go. But again, you know, this whole episode, if everybody else is coming along, great, you know, glad to have you. But this episode is really for the benefit of my new folks, my new to Elden Ring entirely, my Night Rain folks. And right when we pass this is where the dragon should spawn in. Yep. Starts getting foggy. We just want to keep kind of heading east, southeast towards our mark there. There's the dragon. Borealis of the freezing fog. And there's our lobster. So keep riding in the same direction. And when you hit a wall, we're going to work our way around over to your left. There's another lobster. You want to try and grab that because it's the somber 8. Hopefully you don't get laser beamed by the lobster or hit by the dragon. Apologies to anybody who does. You can just go again. So we're done with that. We got the one piece of loot along the way that I would want to grab. There's our somber miner's bell bearing. For anybody that was having a hard time, I can rest here and pull up the map and show you where you should be aiming for. We still don't have the map fragment. I was off by a long shot. So it's definitely more southeast to get to the Grace. But anyway, there's another sacred tier I can grab. Upgrade my flask. What is my flask at? Plus 10 and 13 charges. I think plus 12 and 14 is the max. And you can talk to Melina again. She's just going to give you more lore. So now we're plus 11. There's one more that we can grab. And this is another important thing I wanted to come for. 3 more smithing 7s. If you've been strictly following the walkthrough, go to inventory. Let's go to our smithing stones. Now we have 10 of them. We do need 12. You can grab these. We're going to have to swing by the Fort of Reprimand. but we do absolutely have enough smithing stones running around the forges to be able to get, in my case, the milady, another weapon, even without the smithing miners bell bearing 7 and 8 that we get from the Godskin duo in Farum. You should, after we're done with the Fort of Reprimand, be able to get a regular smithing weapon all the way up to plus 25, which I'm going to do with the milady. We are still missing the ancient somber to get another weapon to plus 10, but we will get to that. So anyway, in terms of proceeding, again, no map markers, so I'm just going to have you follow along. So this time we're going to head out west towards that one lone dog. A graveyard's going to kind of spawn in behind it. And then we're going to head right for the graveyard. There's a couple loots you can try and grab if you want to. Piss off the dogs, grab some golden runes. Anyway, we just want to get to the Spirit Spring and hop on up. There's an Everjail. It's like Pike 2.0 is in there. And keep heading west until you can see the fort and hop up on this rock. Kind of give you the lay of the land. We want to avoid him, so we're going to kind of hop down here right in the middle, just to the left of the slugs. And that should avoid the dino dog for us. Right up towards the fort, and then right over here by this tree, there's a grace. Now the fort we're just going to ride up through. Prelate's Charge is in a scarab up in a tree. I'll point that out. I'm not going to stop and get it. It's just an Ash of War. You can battle fire monks and stuff to your heart's content. There are a couple of the big dudes. And there it is up there in the tree. Let's see if we can whack it down real quick. There's Prelate's Charge. Again, nothing get aggro to me, so I just whacked it down. We're gonna cross this chain, and you can see the obelisk already. To the left, right after we cross, that's gonna be our map marker for the other part of the Mountaintops, and a grace. All right, so Mountaintops East, let me pull open the map. So what we are gonna do before we wrap up is we're gonna proceed clip face to our one side up here. And we're gonna work our way up and around, and this is another giant skull. In its mouth is gonna be another plus 25 smithing upgrade, and ancient smithing. Dragon smithing, and then we're gonna hop down to the west here, and there's a church we can enter in the side. So let's just put a mark there and a mark there, and you're basically just trying to work your way up due south until you reach this cliff edge and work around. There are some birds, there's some giants, everything's fighting. There's no loot to grab along the way except for that. If you go through the front gate, it will spawn an NPC invader. It's got a blood katana, rivers of blood. We're just going to sneak in the side. There's the last sacred tier we can grab and a grace. If you want to fight him once you have the grace, go right ahead. If you die, you're just going to respawn there. But let's just knock this part out, and then we'll pick up the next episode back in the DLC. There are going to be some handsies along the way. There should be just little ones that you can run past. These guys right here. Another one dropping out of trees. Harnish is very popular. If you go up that way, that'll take you towards Fire Giant. There's a grace that we're going to grab right at the end. But there's a big handsy that'll come and try and get you. We're just running past those. That's the church that we're going to end up in. So again, like I said, we're just heading south. until you can see the cliff edge. There it is. And then we're going to start working our way around towards our mark. And there's some birds up here, so just be mindful. There's one there, the giant crows. Should be able to just sneak past them. There's our ancient dragon smithing. And then the bird has aggro. So we want to come down here first and touch the grace. The aggro him. Get rid of my mark, grab the golden seed. And then we're going to proceed along kind of southward again. That's where we drop down. And there's going to be a spirit spring that's going to bring us back up and around. You want to head towards the chalice over that way. Head towards this frozen giant. And there's a grace. You can just kind of slide off here. Ball shouldn't hurt too bad if it hurts at all. And we got our grace. And now if you want, you can go fight Fire Giant. Go to Farum. But that is basically everything I wanted to accomplish here. So I'm going to wrap up now. And I will see you guys back in the DLC for the next episode. And I hope you enjoyed the bonus content.